But as you know, Minister, we have a particular problem in our part of the country at the moment with petrol stretching. And I'm just wondering, could you, in the context of report stage, look at some mechanism where people could be refunded back the VAT for carrying out purchasing replacement engines and carrying out the work on their engines? We're talking about a couple of hundred people that have been badly financially hit. Now, it's not a solution to the problem, but it would at least give some financial assistance to them. And I'd ask you to look at it in the context of report stage. It's a very specific cohort of people, but they are badly caught at the moment. I've raised it at second stage, and if something could be done to assist them financially in the report stage of the bill, I'd ask you to have a look at it. Thanks.
Deputy Naughten's point, I've answered a lot of questions, particularly the deputies from west of the Shannon, on the problem of petrol stretching. But the scheme here is not a VAT relief, it's an income tax relief. But it's an income tax relief to the level of the VAT paid, which is the way it works out. I'll see if there's any solution to the problem, but I'm not making you a commitment. But I'll come back to you at report stage with a view on what you're saying, whether it's possible or not. My first inclination wouldn't be that favourable, but I will have it examined.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Again, Minister, you're familiar. I know you dealt with this issue before, and really, we're whatever 2 months on now. We're really no further on in terms of people's understanding of solutions to this issue. And since it was raised, and since we raised it with you previously, the problem has extended. And Deputy Denis Naughten, Deputy Michael Fitzmaurice spoke to me today when they heard this was coming up. And I also had a call from Councillor Eugene Murphy in Roscommon during the day, who's chairing a group in Roscommon on this issue. It now extends Mayo into Roscommon to parts of Westmeath, and I understand from Deputy Brendan Smith parts of County Cavan. And for those that don't know, what we're talking about here is people around about last June and through into July bought petrol from legitimate petrol retailers, bought so on the assumption of good faith, and since then serious problems have arisen with their cars. In many cases the engine has been destroyed, the car has been rendered unusable. These are people who don't have money to buy new cars, who don't have money to make the kind of repairs that are necessary, people who have spent all their lives in a law-abiding way.
And I want to begin by thanking Deputy Calleary for raising this matter, and I'm sure he won't mind me acknowledging, as he already has done, Deputy Naughten's interest, who I know joins us in this House as well and has raised it previously, most recently on a piece of legislation here in this House. I want to I suppose, echo the sentiment expressed by Deputy Calleary in terms of the sheer frustration that I know is being felt by people who, as you quite correctly say, through no fault of their own, have seen serious damage done to cars written off road, and really a devastating impact on their lives and their family lives as they go about trying to do their daily business. Revenue investigates all complaints of this kind, and fuel samples are taken from filling stations and referred to the State Laboratory for analysis, where the investigating officers have reason to suspect excise fraud. The State Laboratory makes use of an array of tests to determine whether an adulteration of the petrol has occurred. A total of 79 samples, as the Deputy correctly said, of petrol from filling stations in the Border, Midlands and Western region have been referred for analysis to the State Laboratory following checks conducted from June 2014 to date. Conclusive results have been received in one case which confirms contamination through the presence of kerosene, and a file is being prepared for prosecution in this case. A second positive contamination result is currently under investigation, and I expect that to continue to progress. To date,
succeed with a criminal conviction, that it can be made available for a civil case?
Again, I'll raise that matter with the Revenue Commission. It sounds pretty pragmatic to me. But certainly, I'll certainly revert to Deputy Calleary and indeed Deputy Naughten on those matters, and we'll continue to pursue this in every way we can.